Hi everyone, it's Fitz with your daily delivery. Hope you're doing well. I am very good. Looking forward to Saturday night's game at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Kansas State, Arizona State at the Bill, 6 p.m. kick. And this has been a long overdue payback game, a return game for the Wildcats, if you want to look at it that way. I know, you got to be old to understand that. And I'll explain it in just a second. First, a reminder, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up, leave comments. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. If you're not subscribing, please do. We're trying to get to 15K, which is a cool milestone. Going back to 1989, I was in my first year at my hometown paper, the Snyder Journal, where I was just blessed to work with an incredible staff and great teachers that launched me into my career. I'd eventually become sports editor there and then move into this field. But the year before going to Salina, I was in St. Joe, Missouri, putting in my dues in my first job in the journalism business and wondering why I'm in St. Joe, Missouri. Well, it became clear why eventually. In 1989, in September, I was probably sitting in the office, the newsroom, getting ready for Kansas State football so I could get it into the paper on that Saturday night's edition. It was Bill Snyder's first game, and it was taking place a long ways from Manhattan, Kansas, let alone Salina, Kansas, or anything in Kansas. It was in Tempe, Arizona, against the Arizona State Sun Devils. Now, this wasn't the last meeting between these schools. They played in a bowl game, the Holiday Bowl in 2002 or so, but this one was different because it was Coach Snyder's first game, and he tried to get out of it. You know Coach Snyder playing these road non-conference games like that, but he knew he didn't have a team to compete. He just didn't at that point. People just don't understand how bad the program was that he took over. There's nothing comparable in college football, certainly in the power conferences now, that even measured up anything like how bad K-State was. They didn't have resources. They didn't have facilities. They didn't have a very good roster. And he was starting from scratch, basically. He had run off a significant number of players in the spring who just weren't bought in. And now he had to open the season at Arizona State. And Arizona State was pretty good. His team wasn't ready for that, and the final score showed it. It was 31-0, and it probably should have been worse. And that's where Bill Snyder's career as Kansas State's coach started, right there in Tempe. And now, 35 years later, Arizona State's coming to the Bill for a return visit of sorts. Yeah, nobody on the field will remember that game. None of the players were even close to being alive. But some of the fans, my fellow olds, will remember how interesting it was to launch into a new era of unknown, nothing but bad football behind us, to have K-State play at Arizona State. This will be a really good game. Arizona State's been the one down on their luck lately, but not this season under Kenny Dillingham. They have a 7-2 record overall and a 4-2 record in the conference. That matches Kansas State records. And this game is important because the winner will stay in the race, kind of in the hunt, just within reach of playing for a Big 12 title in Arlington at season's end. The loser will be eliminated from that process for the most part. Kansas State and Arizona State, it's going to be fun. This is what I love about conference expansion. You run into some new conference mates, and you might get along really well. You might hate each other. You might end up with a rivalry. We don't know. But when this game started, when this series started, at least in modern memory, in 1989, there was no matchup there for Kansas State. They weren't cut out to do the job. This team, well, this team is. We'll see you at the Bill, and make sure you're watching the PowerCat pregame podcast that dropped last night at midnight.